Hi everyone, it's Miss Madeline and welcome to the math class. So today we're going to work on lesson number 5, page 715, okay? Draw and analyze line plots. Please open up your books on page 715. Now, what is a line plot? A line plot uses x's above the number line to show how often a data value occurs. Remember that we saw line plots in second grade? So this is almost like a review for you guys. Now, sample number 1. Albert spun a spinner 16 times to see how often the spinner landed on each number. Display the data in a line plot. Now, spun means girar, okay? So it's like you spun, this is like a ruleta. So, ¿cuántas veces giró en la ruleta? And which number, how many times each number occurred. Now, the first thing to draw a line plot is to draw a number line with the numbers in the bottom. Now, after that, you need to draw an X above the number for each result. Complete the line plot by drawing remaining X's. Now, to know how many X's you're going to draw over each number, you need to look at the results of the numbers, okay? Now, 0. How many times did 0 occur? Now, we saw 1, 2, and 3. That's why there are 3 x's over here. So you need to complete by drawing 2 x's over the number 0. Now, let's see number 1. How many times did the number 1 occur? Okay? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? That's why you see 8 x's over here. So you need to draw 4 x's to complete the x's above the number 1. Why 8? Because the number 1 was 8 times every time Albert spun a spinner. Okay, remember that spun a spinner is que cuántas veces giró esta ruleta y cuántas veces cayó la flechita en estos números. Now, number 2, let's see, number 2, 1, 2, and 3, so that's why there are 3 x's over the number 3. Now, how about the number 3? How many times did the number 3 appear? Only 1, so that's why there's 1 x over the number 3. Remember to draw an 1 x, only 1 x over the number 3. Now, 4, the number 4, let's see how many times did number 4 occur. Only 1 time, so you need to draw 1 x over the number 4. Remember that the x's represent the times that the number was spun, okay? Next page. Now, let's do example number 2. Use Albert's line plot to find the difference between the greatest, which is the biggest, and the least number of x's, okay? Now, find the number spun most often. Which was the number that most often occurred? The number spun most often was the number 1. Why the number 1? Because it has the more x's. How do you know this? The greatest number of x's is above the number 1. How many times was the number 1 spun? 8 times, okay? Number 2. Find the number spun least often, okay? How are we going to find this? You are going to count the x's above the numbers, and the numbers that have the least x's are 3 and 4. So you write 3 and 4. How many times were each of these numbers spun? ¿Cuántas veces se giró y cuántas veces cayó en ese número? Only one time, okay? The difference between the greatest number of x's and the least number of x's is 8. Why 8? Because there are 8 x's over the number 1. 8 minus 1, which is only 1 over the least, only 1x equals 7. Okay? Now, let's do guided practice together. Let me zoom this a little bit so you guys can see it better. Now, display the set of data in the line plot. Now, letters in siblings' name. Number 2 has 1 frequency. Number 3 has 0. 4 has 2. 5 has 2. 6 has 1. And 7 has 2. Now, we are going to complete the line plot by writing the frequency, that means the number of times over each number, okay? Now, over the number 2, you are going to draw only one x. Over the number 4, 2 x's. Over the number 5, 2 x's. Over the number 6, only 1. Over the number 7, 2. Okay? How do we get these x's? By looking at my data. Okay? Now turn your pages. Now let's do independent practice together. Okay? Display the set of data in the line plot. Number of siblings. Siblings means hermanos, okay? 0 siblings, 1 person has 0 siblings. 1 sibling, 3. 3 people have 3 siblings, okay? 2 siblings, 5 people have 2 siblings. 3 people have 3 siblings. And 2 people has 4 siblings. Now, 5 or more siblings, only 1 person has it. Now, how are you going to complete the line plot? First, in the bottom, you're going to number with the number of siblings. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 or more. After you complete the numbers in the line plot, you're going to draw the x's over each number. Now, over the number 0, you're going to draw 1x. Over the number 1, you need to draw 3 x's. Over the number 2, you need to draw 5 x's. Over the number 3, 3. Over the number 4, you need to draw 2. And over the number 5, you need to draw 1x. Now, let's write. What is one conclusion you can draw from this line plot? That most of the students have 2 siblings, okay? Why most of the students? Because 2 is a number that has more x's, okay? For exercises 3 and 4, refer to the line plot below, okay? Now, let's look at the line plot. We are going to look at quiz scores, okay? Scores are the same as grades. How many students' quiz scores are recorded? Okay, how are you going to get this answer? You're going to count the x's. Remember that each x represents a vote or something that people said, okay? So you count the x's and you know that 12 students were asked about this, okay? Now, let's do number 4. Draw a conclusion. What is one conclusion you can draw from this line plot? Most of the students scored 92 or higher. Okay? Next page. Remember that problem solving, we do not do it. But let's do number 5 and 6, okay? We need to do this part. Circle the true sentence about each set of data, okay? We are looking at a line plot that includes height in inches. Now let's see the statements, and we have to circle which of the statements it's true. All students are 55 inches tall. Let's look at 55. No, it only has one person, one student, one x over the 55. Half of the students are 52 inches or taller. And the last one, most students are 51 inches tall. We cannot say that most students are 51 inches tall because it doesn't have the most x's. The number that has the most x's is 52. So the true statement about this is the second one, okay? Remember that half means mitad. Number 6, years teaching, okay? All teachers have been teaching for 10 years or more except for one. All teachers have taught for 7 years, or most teachers taught for 7 years or more. Can you see that after number 7 we have a lot of x's, 10, 21, and 21, 7, 10, 20, and 21. So the statement that is true is the last one. Now we cannot say that the second one is true because look at the number of x's above the 7, so we cannot say that all teachers have taught for 7 years, okay? Now we can turn the page, okay? Now my homework. Use the line plot above. We're going to use the information in this line plot to answer the questions in the bottom. How many days were there 2 birds at the bird feeder? Okay, so we're going to find in the line plot which of the numbers have 2 x's. Okay, the answer is, how many days were there 2 birds at the bird feeder? 2 days. Okay, number 2, how many days were there 3 or fewer birds at the feeder? That means 4 days. Okay, you count the number of days. Number 3, how many days were there 3 or more birds at the feeder? 3 days. You're going to answer these questions by looking at the line plot. The problem says, Jory recorded the number of birds she saw at the bird feeder each day for 5 days. She displayed the data in a line plot. What is one conclusion you can make from this line plot? Now, during day 1, she saw 3 birds. During day 2, she saw 4 birds. During day 3, she saw 2 birds. On day 4, she saw also 2 birds. And on day 5, she saw 3 days. That's why this is 2 days. The answer for number 1 is 2 days. Why? Because on day 3 and day 4, she saw 2 birds. She's counting the days, okay? Next page. For exercise 4 and 5, refer to the line plot that shows the number of states each student has visited. Number 4, how many states have the most number of students visited? 2 states. Why? Because 2 and 3 has the most x's, okay? How many students have visited 3 states? You count the number of x's, okay? On number 4, you count the number of x's over the 2 states, okay? Now, number 6, problem solving. Mrs. Sebring's class made a tally chart of the number of hours they spent on homework last week. Display the set of data in the line plot. Okay, so you're going to look at the tally chart and then you're going to write the information in the line plot. Remember that the numbers in the bottom represent the time, and then you're going to write how many x's over each number. Now, over the number 8, you have to draw 3 x's. Over the number 9, 1 x. Over the number 10, 5 x's, and over the number 11, 3 x's. Okay, remember to look at the tally chart to answer the line plot. And Number 7, what is a line plot? It's a graph which uses x's above a number line to show how often a data value occurs. Number 8, refer to the line plot in exercise 6. What is the difference between the least number of hours spent on homework and the most number of hours spent on homework? The answer is letter B. So we are finished with this lesson. I hope you understand.